Welcome back to Black Wall Street 2.0. I'm your host, James Deloney, and I have with me today prolific microbiologist Stephen Creer. Let me read for a moment his bio so you can learn a little bit about our special guest. Stephen Creer Sr. is Administrator for Indigenous Products for the Texas region, marketing a line of health food minerals which supply the body zinc, copper, and Ionic Plus to assist in giving us more energy. Mr. Creer is an expert in the area of electromagnetic therapy for African Americans. He is passionate about educating African Americans in the health care industry. His community service involvement includes the Pylon Salesmanship Club, the Horizon Youth Group, and he is a national health consultant. Without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my guest, Stephen Creer. Steve?
Hello, James.
All right. Now I call you Steve.
Yes, you can.
You
can.
Can you tell us for a moment what really inspired you to get into this line of health work?
Well, you know, James, I worked in the medical industry for about 15 years, and one of the things that I found as a microbiologist, African American people, and I don't leave any ethnic group out, but the African American community was suffering from so many different degenerative diseases. Every time I turned around, they were number one in diabetes, number one in strokes and heart attacks, number one in the area of almost every type of cancer except skin cancer. And the thing that I found most amazing is I watched billions of dollars pour into the actual research of different types of prescription drugs, but there were never solutions that came out, especially for the African American community.
Right, so you're saying no solution, so basically just what, Band-Aid cover-ups?
Well,
what would you say?
Well, you think about it. You know, one of the guests that you're probably going to have on this here show soon, Mr. Bert Martin, one of the things he said to me when I was actually coming over here today, he said, you know, Steve, one of the insurance companies sent me a card, and it had MC on there, and it stands for Managed Care. And one of the problems we're running into in the United States is managed health care is exactly what it says that it is, James. They manage your health, but they don't have anything along the alignment of moving you toward healing or curing you. They just manage you. And one of the problems that the African American community was running into is that Western science doesn't take into consideration that there is a genetic difference.
Genetic difference. How could you explain that? Are you saying there's, what do you mean by that?
Okay, when I say genetic difference, let's start with number one, the basic thing that you have to take into consideration. When you sit back and you look at the pigmentation or the color in your skin, you look at black skin or brown skin and you say, okay, that's my color. But really, you have melanocyte cells that produce a chemical inside of the body that produces what's called a superorganic conductor. A superorganic conductor is an absorber of energy. And the human body, or the African American body, or any melanated body that's dark in complexion, uses UV radiation, or the pure source of vitamin D for us is the sun. Well, let me say this. When you sit back and you look at African American people, you're looking at somebody that has 8 times more muscle mass, 10 times more bone mass, a different circulatory system. The entire body operates differently.
So, Steve, let me interrupt you for a minute.
Okay.
If we have more mass, then what we're saying is perhaps the medication or the industry for black people is undermanaged?
Well, let me take it a step farther. When many of the pharmaceutical companies take their drugs and they get them patented, they base it on the physiology of Caucasians. Now, I'm not saying anything against that, but if someone's genetic is different, you can't take into consideration that their bodies are not different and give them something based on somebody else's genetic. You're going to run into problems, James. And that's one of the things that the African American community is running into. They're not taking into consideration what's different about our bodies because it's not a priority. Well, and I thought about it and I asked myself the question. I said, is the pharmaceutical companies wrong? Are the doctors wrong? And the answer I came up with is no, they're not wrong.
Not wrong.
It's not the responsibility of any other nationality or ethnic group to ensure our survival. It's up to us, our scientists and our doctors, to research what we need to do in order to keep ourselves healthy. And that's the mistake we make, James.
Let me interject here. That's great. You know, that's the spirit of our program, Black Wall Street. It's people taking care of yourself.
Absolutely.
And that's the heart and the soul of Black Wall Street. What we had to do in line of pressure, we took care of ourselves. So you're saying in this field of healthcare,
Sure.
you've done that.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. You know, we are going to be right back after commercial, and we want to continue where we just left off. So we'll see you right after this. That's right.